Are you here to improve your investment strategies? Are you looking for that one article that could help you finalize that decision you were holding off? Well then, get ready to learn more and gain just that subtle extra knowledge to get an edge in the investment business. Because if you're new here, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to The Daily Fortune, a channel where we talk about all the latest news, updates, guides, and strategies related to investment. Of course, with that said, we're going to be discussing a lot about the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, The Big Short, Michael Burry, the money tree Cathie Woods, Tesla's very own CEO and eccentric billionaire Elon Musk, along with the rest of the big leagues to learn just a bit more from the professionals. And don't worry, of course we talk about crypto, and we also talk about the best stocks to invest in, along with many tips and tricks on how to handle your finances so you never lose. So before we talk about making money, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell as well to make sure you won't miss a single video. Now let's get started. What does Michael Burry think about lately? After a lot of investigations, readings, and updates, we've discovered that there's something odd in his investments, which may also surprise all of us. Let's go back and see his investment firm, Scion Asset Management LLC. If you want to look up that information, you can visit whalewisdom.com. Anyways, here's what drew my attention. Michael Burry has a complete lack of stock ownership. What we see now is extremely different from what we see from Michael Burry, who typically runs funds with over $600 million in investments. The most recent filings were on September 30, 2021. We can't really expect filings to be updated frequently because they're constantly a quarter late. Therefore, it's certainly outdated. I found out that he sold out of the typical $638 million in stock, despite the fact that we can only see that he had stock at only $38 million. He now owns only 6% of the company. He recently sold 94% of his stock. And the amazing thing about these transactions is that he was selling out of everything, including his bet on Cathie Woods and her ARK Invest funds, Google, and eventually Tesla. If you still remember his deleted Twitter account, he used to rant every day about how Tesla and electric vehicles were overvalued. But if you notice, he sold out of his Tesla bets. So this was a Tesla put, and it was a big one. It's like he had millions in it, but that's all gone now. As a result, we may wonder if he's finally admitting that he's incorrect about Tesla. But there is something strange. Burry has been warning about how inflation is going to ruin the economy all this time, and he believes the best way to cope with it is to go against treasury bonds. He did sell out of his 30-year treasury put and call options. Also, just a quick reminder, if you liked the video, please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing to see more of our content. And you could also ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Again, thanks for your time and let's get back to the video. What does this all mean? How come he's selling out of almost everything? Let's look at what's left so that we may discover the answer to that question. And we shouldn't place too much stock in this because it's just 6% of his initial portfolio. He's still holding on to CVS, which is a consumer staple where people obtain their fundamental daily necessities. Burry still has one defense company, which is LMT Lockheed Martin. And it's not surprising because everyone who knows what Lockheed Martin Company is, and he still owns Geo Group Inc., a private prison company, and also the Core Civic Inc. There are these two last stocks which are simply too insignificant to deal about. Anyways, why is he still holding on to CVS, Lockheed Martin, and private prison companies while selling out of what he labels bubble equities, like he was betting against Cathie Woods, Tesla, as well as the Treasury? Well, here's the answer to why he's selling so much. There are numerous stories regarding Michael Burry and what's really going on the internet. However, in my opinion, none of these are completely accurate in describing what I think is happening. Burry sold out most of his stocks and paper investments in the filings possibly because he realized exactly how risky the market is right now with the risks of its fiscal policy, especially because of inflation. Burry fully sold out of his stocks, realizing that there is no safe place or stocks, and I believe he instead invested his money in more tangible and real assets. Around November 2020 and October, I also started to notice some happenings. So here, he sold 90% of the money he had left and what he was holding to focus on more tangible assets, such as farmlands, which if you look closely, have done extremely well in the past year. Let me show it to you. Burry has been investing heavily on farmlands, maybe because if he were to invest in any stock, it had to be safe and of course tangible. There's a stock here called Gladstone Land, which is an agricultural farming company, and it's been close to 4 times in valuation since the COVID crisis, and it points back to when it was trading about $40. With Michael Burry again, it's highly possible that he sold everything after recognizing that the stocks aren't really where they should be, that inflated money producing massive valuation jumps, and that everything is set to crash. He must really have believed that safeguarding his current life was the most important matter, so he took out all of his money and maybe went out of his way to build up his own farm or ranch. He could be going for personal autarky, which is an economic system based on having no trades and relies mostly on self-sufficiency, because if you can create your own daily needs, you won't have to worry about a currency crisis. In fact, you won't have to worry about anything if you have that set up. It makes more sense now because I assume he still believes in the impending crash he's always predicting. Burry probably also believes that you shouldn't be off the stock market for too long, because we all know how stock prices can suddenly skyrocket during good times. And if you're out there holding cash throughout these moments, you'll be left further behind. If Burry has been keeping 94% cash since September of last year, it's a strong indication that a crash is imminent. Do you still remember when he had to invest positions in the US dollar against US Treasury bonds? He also pulled out when he sensed the market was moving deep into a dangerous area, prioritizing more immediate necessities such as energy production and food supply. Autarky once more. Here are Burry's older tweets, which I believe provide compelling evidence. For what it's worth, I've never shorted any cryptocurrency. This is my third bubble and the biggest. I've learned a thing or two. 30-year treasuries, on the other hand, why would he label it a bubble? In any case, based on what he said there, it appears he'll continue to short 30-year treasuries. I don't think the filings are lying. I'm sure he sold out of those positions. If he thinks being in cash for the short term is where he should be after reading his Twitter while avoiding political matters, well, that only means he's expecting the crash. Consider Burry's tweets. He's been talking for a long time about speculation about the 1920s and everything that was going on at the time. He said, quote and unquote, more speculation than the 1920s, more overvaluation than the 1990s, and more geopolitical and economic strife than the 1970s. It appears that he's anticipating a major economic crisis. Just a friendly reminder that it's totally acceptable to disagree with Michael Burry. He isn't always correct, but he is, most of the time, right with his predictions. Burry is one of those investors who have highly original ideas and always has something fascinating to say. And his track records are even more impressive, so I want to believe in him this time. What are your thoughts about Michael Burry? Do you think he has been wrong all along, that there will be a crash? Or do you believe he knows something is wrong? Finally, we don't know why Burry is off the market because he's also off Twitter. All we know is that based on these filings, he clearly sold out of everything. Who knows? Maybe he just retired to spend his time on whatever hobbies he has. Although I would like to believe otherwise. This simply indicates he has completely lost faith in the financial markets, including everything from treasury bonds to ordinary stocks and securities. This is unquestionably a sign. Please let me know what you think about Burry's actions by sharing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from today's video, and to get updated with the next videos, don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you next time.